Are you living the life that you truly know that you are destined to live? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jasmine. I'm a holistic nutritionist, energy healer, and hypnotherapist, and my goal is to help you align, awaken, and ascend. So let's dive right in. So, the question I want to ask you guys today, are you living the life that you know that you are destined to live? So many of my clients and people that reach out to me say, and I hear this so often, I'm not living the life I always thought that I was supposed to. I know that there is more for me. I know that I am not living up to my fullest potential. I know that I was not supposed to be sick. I know that I was not supposed to be miserable. I know that I was not supposed to live depressed, anxious, in debt, whatever it is. So whatever it is for you, I want you to right now let me know in the comments, what is it for you that right now you know you are not supposed to be living this way? What is it in your life that you believe you are not supposed to be living with right now? Let me know down below. So this is a really interesting topic that I want to talk about with you guys today, because I want to first begin with, it's not your fault. There's nothing that you're doing wrong. There's nothing, you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing that isn't fixable. We're all fixable. I believe every disease, every condition, every trauma, everything that we have been, that we see as a challenge in our lives is fixable. Everything can be cured because we can work on the energetic plane, and we can work with God and universe and source. And when we work with that, actually anything is possible of being healed. And I want to first though back up, because so many people, and myself included, for so many years I believed that something was wrong with me. I believed that I was doing something wrong, especially when it came to my lifestyle and my diet. I was looking at every single little thing that I was eating, and I was like, what is making me not feel good? What am I doing during the day? What supplement is good or bad, or all of these things? And I thought that I was doing something wrong. I thought that I was almost being punished for, my body was like deteriorating, and I was like, what am I possibly doing wrong, when I felt like I was doing everything right? And I'm here to tell you that you aren't doing anything wrong. You are doing everything right. It's just your programming that has led you to believe that you are, or that you're not doing something right. And so, as I've talked about on here before, between the ages of 0 to 7, we are being programmed. We are in theta state, we are in hypnosis, and we are taking in everything from the world around us to make our beliefs about what this reality is. And so if we heard something from at a very young age, there's different types of people, because some people can hear one thing and use it to propel. So I'll use the example, if someone hears, you'll never amount to anything. One person can use that as fuel to move forward and to say, I'm going to prove them wrong. Another person can really internalize that and become a victim for the rest of their lives and think, oh, I was told I'm never going to amount to anything. And then another person can be a rebel and say, well, they said that to me, and so I'm going to do the opposite of it. And, so there's all these different types of meanings that we can make from this. And it has a lot to do with the relationship to the person who told us this, how we were feeling in that moment, what we experienced up until that moment, the state that we were in when we received that feedback. But what I'm trying to say is that, I think we see these people who have come from the bottom and risen to the top, and we wonder, well, how did they do it? And it's because they decided to be greater than their circumstances, and they decided to reprogram in whatever those beliefs were that they were being told. And so I think personally that one of the best ways to do this is through hypnosis, but there also is energy healing, there is drumming, there is breath work, meditation, a lot of other ways that we can release these traumas and these stored beliefs that are within us. And I think that the easiest way, though, is through getting into that theta state. And these are all ways that we get into the theta state so that we can reprogram our mind to see that we truly can create the change that we're looking to create. We truly can heal. We truly can have financial abundance. We truly can have the relationship we've always wanted and be treated the way that we always have been wanted to. And, I think that that's a really, really important point to make here, is that I just want to remind you that it is all about what you've been programmed with from a young age, how it plays out your entire life. So if you want to change your beliefs, you have to change the belief that led to all of the beliefs that you have now. Does that make sense? So it's taking those deep-seated, those roots that were planted in us from a very young age, and it's almost like picking them, pulling them up and looking at them to see how you want to truly begin to cultivate and create your life from here on out. And so that is going to lead me to my next point, because in order to do any of this work, we truly have to begin to love ourselves. And this is really hard for a lot of people. It was really hard for me. I'm still working on it, to be completely honest, but we will always be met in life with the love that we give to ourselves. And I do this with all of my clients. I show them how to love themselves. And it's not something that we're taught in our society, how to love ourselves. And it sounds very narcissistic and it sounds very counterintuitive. And it really is everything that we're not being taught. We're not taught to love ourselves, but the love that we show ourselves is the love that we welcome into our lives. And so if we show ourselves love, we actually will attract in healing. We actually will attract in a loving relationship. We actually will attract in money, because so often we don't think that we're deserving of love and money and wealth and happiness. And this isn't true, because you are so deserving. And we think that we have to do all of these external things. We think that we have to, achieve a certain amount of accolades or achieve a certain amount of status or prestige or accomplishments or awards or degrees, all of these things. We don't have to achieve any of that to be deserving. Just the mere fact that you are here right now, breathing, makes you so deserving of infinite love for yourself. And it's such a powerful thing, because when we begin to cultivate this love for ourselves, our world actually begins to change. We begin to attract in the health, the wealth, the relationships, and everything that we're looking to create, because we cannot attract in that which we believe that we're not deserving of. And so that's how this all works, is we have to begin first with self-love before we search for anything else to heal us. We need to first look to heal ourselves. We need to first look to become the loving parent, to become the relationship, to become the partner for ourselves. We need to be the number one source of love in our lives, needs to come from ourselves. And when we can cultivate that true inner love for ourselves, we can then attract in all that we're looking to attract in, and then truly heal and create the life that we know that we are so deserving of, and the life that we truly came here to live. So how do we begin to cultivate this self-love? Because if I'm going to be perfectly honest, this has been one of the hardest things that I've done in my life, hands down, because I realized that self-love was at the root of so many things for me. And that self-love really was, for me, being deserving. And it's kind of crazy, because I can hear people saying, like, why wouldn't you think that you're deserving? Or why wouldn't you think that, why wouldn't you love yourself? But really, it's so much easier for us to love other people than it is for us to love ourselves. And so that's where we begin. We begin with channeling this energy that we have for someone else. And this is what I do with my clients in hypnosis. And it's so powerful. But just begin to think of someone who you can love unconditionally. Maybe it's a parent. Maybe it's a child. Maybe it's a pet. I think that pets And animals are so, they're like the perfect example to use for this, because there's nothing that they could do that you would stop loving them. Like your dog or your cat can, do something terrible, but you still love them because you know that they didn't know any better. And it's the same for you. You can do terrible things and still love yourself, because at the end of the day, you're learning and you're making mistakes because you're human and because it's part of the human experience. And so the first step really is to cultivate the love and channel that love that you have for someone or something else in your life, and begin to feel that deeply in your heart as you bring that to mind. I just want you to even do this with me right now. Just put your hands on your heart and begin to think of this deep love that you have for someone or something else in your life. And as you feel this love within your heart, allow your heart to swell with this love. And as you feel your heart swelling with this love, realize that this love is also for you. And so that's really the first step. The first step is coming home. It's right here. It's loving yourself in such a deep way that we don't often do. We don't give ourselves the love that we deserve. And so if you can do this, begin to do this once a day, every day, first thing in the morning or right before you go to sleep, or both. This is how we can begin to cultivate self-love. We can also begin to cultivate self-love by having forgiveness, by forgiving ourselves. And, I've shared the story of how I healed my eczema, and it really was forgiving myself. I saw that my eczema was actually me punishing myself. And for those of you who haven't seen, I got really bad eczema on my hands, and I tried every diet and every cream and nothing got rid of it until I did a hypnotherapy session. And 2 weeks later, after that session, my eczema was completely gone. And I went back to a scene and time in my life, and I realized that I was punishing myself. And this was literally me, a physical manifestation of me punishing myself. And once I forgave myself, it healed on its own without the creams and diets and all of these things. And so begin to forgive yourself in the same way that you would forgive a pet for doing something wrong, or forgive a child, because we really are just all children in these adult bodies, that we learned things growing up, and it doesn't have to be our life sentence just because we learned these programs growing up. So if you can begin to cultivate these two ways of channeling this love for yourself and learning to forgive yourself all throughout the day, we're going to make mistakes. You made mistakes in your past, and you're going to continue to make mistakes. No matter how enlightened or beautiful this life is and how enlightened you become, you're going to make mistakes. And it's okay. It's part of your learning. And so learn to have this forgiveness for yourself in the exact same way that you would forgive a child, in the exact same way that you would forgive your pet for getting into the trash because you know that they don't know any better. And when we can cultivate that forgiveness for ourselves, we can truly begin to transform our lives, because we were never supposed to be punishing ourselves or living in, I could have done better, I should have done this, these shoulda, coulda, wouldas. No, everything is happening exactly perfectly. It's exactly for your perfect growth, your perfect timeline. Everything is perfect. And so when we can begin to see that, we can begin to cultivate the perfect love for ourselves. And so I know it's a practice, and I know that it's a journey, and I get that. And I want to help empower you to know that you are worthy and deserving of the love. And once you begin to accept in that love, you will begin to heal and transform your life. And so if this is something you're looking to cultivate in your life, let me know in the comments below. I want to hear what it is for you that you believe self-love could truly begin to transform and change. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, I am sending you all infinite love and light.